Hi, I'm Lisa Wallen with Directional Learning, and today we're going to learn about direction. That's right, we learn in a whole different way with directional learning. So you see numbers here. So we're going to use numbers for direction, to find direction. So the first thing I would ask you is, can you count to 3 out loud? 1, 2, 3. Pretty simple. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix these numbers up here, and I'm going to ask you to put them back in order and count to 3. So you should do something like this. 1, 2, 3. That's right. That's how we count. We count 1, 2, 3. And our numbers stay in this order when we count to 3. Okay, the next thing I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you take these 3 numbers here and count these columns, counting to 3. So how would you do that? Pretty simple. 1 goes first, then 2, then 3. Pretty easy. So it's pretty safe to say that when we count, our numbers just stay in this order, right? So did you know that direction can live in our numbers, or direction can live in these columns? In the 1, the left lives there. In the 2, the middle lives there. And in the 3, the right lives there. So all you have to do is count 1, 2, 3 to get direction. So in the 1, the left lives there. In the 2, the middle lives there. In the 3, the right lives there. And in the left, what number lives there? The 1. In the middle, what number lives there? 2. In the right, what number lives there? 3. So all we have to do is count to get direction. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to replace these letters and numbers with just visual pictures for you. And it's just going to create more direction for you. So let's do that. Let's move our letters and our numbers. And I'd like to introduce you to my first character. We call him the One Lefty Dragon because he has the number 1 in him and he has the capital L in him. And he sticks his tongue out and blows his fire towards the left. And he blows his fire away from the other numbers and sticks his tongue out away from the other numbers. And you can see he does have the number 1 in him and he has the L in him. And he can only move left, and he sticks his tongue out and blows his fire towards the left. See, that gives it direction. So if we took the number 1, we brought it back, now you can visualize that this is his tongue. He's blowing his fire. He does have the capital L in him for left, so you can see that. And imagine him, he only goes left this way towards his tongue. Okay, so then we'll leave that up there. And then next is my 2 mountain monsters that live in the middle. It's pretty simple, and you can kind of see there's 1, 2 mountain monsters, and they're being squished, okay, in the middle. And they can only move in the middle. All right, and then if we took the number 2, now you got a visual picture, and you can imagine 1 monster, 2 monster, and they only live in the middle, okay? And then for the number 3, I would take my bouncy bus, and then when it gets on the number 3 road, it gets on the bouncy road, that number 3 road. And when it gets on the number 3 road, it can only go right. It's heading towards a red reptile tree, and it goes towards those rocks. Do you see that? So here's the rocks on the bumps. So then you can see this is the bump. It's only, you can follow the rocks or look at the road. It only goes to the right. Okay, follow those rocks, follow those bumps, and that takes you to the right. Okay, and then if we looked at the number 3, here's our number 3, and then we can just imagine that there's a road on our number 3 here, and then we follow the road, and that simply takes you to the 3 direction. Okay, now if we were to bring our letters out, okay, so this is my capital L building. I'm going to stop right here to show you. So this is my capital L building. You can see it has 3 floors, my building. It has 3 windows. There's a window underneath here, and this is someone's bed, I call it. This is someone's bed, and this is the inside of the building, and this is the outside of the building. And my friend L lives in this building, and she has to go 3 floors, and she puts her star in the window, and then she makes her bed, and then she goes back to the star, or if you want to call it her pillow, and she makes a wish, and her wishes go out the window. Okay, and then if you follow the wishes out the window, or you follow the star on the corner, that takes you towards the left. Okay, You see that? So that takes you towards the left. Okay, now if we wanted to find the middle, here's my mountain monsters. And they can dance in the middle, okay? And you can look at this here. This is the middle. And just remember they're being squished by the other number. So that's the middle, or being squished by the monsters. Okay, and then for the right, I call it my red reptile tree. And here's my red reptile tree, and it follows the road. See that road, that bumpy road? It just follows it to the right. So let me stop it there. So see this road here? If you just follow it, it will take you to the right. And same thing with our lowercase r here. See the road? If you follow it, it will take you to the right. Let me get you a bigger one. See? Follow it, it'll take you to the right. Okay, so you've just learned all our numbers and our letters with directional pictures, and now we can take everything off and we can go back to our letters. So let's put our letters back on here, and let's find our one. There it is. So now you can kind of visualize it, right? So that's why it's important to show you that. So now you can look at this capital L here. You could think of the star here, or the stars went out the window, and then move it left. And then same thing with our one lefty dragon, find his tongue, and he can only go left, right? Move left, and he has the capital L in him for left. And for our middle, we just know that the middle, and that is our mountain monsters, and they just stay in the middle, or they're being squished. Okay, and then for the number 3, we just find the road, and we know that's right. And then this is our red reptile tree, our capital R, and we find the road, and we can just go right. So in just a few short minutes, we made visual pictures of our direction, and now our letters and numbers can move in a directional way. Okay, now that you know, all we have to do is count 1, 2, 3 to get direction. Now we're going to count things. Okay, so look at this desk, and we're going to count things as we look at them. Okay, so you're looking at this desk here. Pretend you're standing in front of it. We're going to count on it, and we can get direction. Let me show you. I'm going to show you first how we would do that. We would go 1, 2, 3. Right? And then what does the 1 mean? Do you remember? What does the 1 mean? It means, let's get our letters, left. And then what does the 2 mean? Middle. And what does the 3 mean? Right. And all you have to remember is this is the left. You can see his tongue points away from the other number, so this is left. And then this is the middle, right? Middle is being squished by the other numbers, it's between them. And then 3, our bumpy road, is right. And then also the left, we can think of this, we could think of Elle going down the building and putting her pillow there. So all of this side is left. So left is this way. Move the angle. And then the middle just means middle. It means it's just being squished between the 2 numbers. And then 3, we could think of our bumps here for our bumpy road. And same thing for our right, we can have the bumpy road there. So do you see? All we have to count is 1, 2, 3 to get direction. All right, let's count some more things. I'm going to move our letters. All right, let's count this monitor here. Can we do that to get direction as we're looking at it? 1, 2, 3. And what does the 1 mean? Well, you can see the capital L in there, left. This is the middle. And then this is the right. Okay, let's count our lunch bag here. Can we do that? 1, 2, 3. So this is left. The 1 means left. The 2 means middle. And the 3 means right. So do you see we can count things to get direction? Let's count this keyboard. 1, 2, 3. So 1 means left, middle, and the right. And watch, I'm going to show you something else we can do with the letters. Watch this. Maybe somebody says, you see this monitor here? can you tell me where the left side of the monitor is? Well, I heard left, so I will get my L building out and I'd imagine myself walking down the building, find the corner, there's the corner, so then left is this way. So I would just take my L and move it that way, so that's left, and then we know this side would be right, and then that would be the middle being squished. Pretty easy. Now, if somebody said, can you find the right of this monitor? Same thing. I'd get my tree out, find the road, and move it towards the right. Pretty easy. So we could even do that with numbers. So if somebody said, can you find the left of the screen? Instead of the capital letter, I may think of the number 1. What I have to do is look at his tongue, and his tongue is going that way. So then I pick him up and move him that way. And then I know that this is the 3, and then the 2 is being squished. So see, we can find direction by just counting using the numbers. So I know this is left, this is the middle, and this is the right. We can do the same thing if somebody said, can you find the right of the screen? Well, instead of thinking of the letter, I could think of the number, and I know right means 3. I could look at the bump here, the road, and then the road goes this way. So that's 3, and I know this is 1, and this is 2. So all we did was count 1, 2, 3 to get direction. You can use the numbers or you can use the letters. That's all you have to do to get direction, and everything can have direction as we look at it. Okay, now that you know, all you have to do is count to get direction, and you learn that our dragon's tongue has to be away from the other numbers. I'm going to show you what to do if you were sitting here and somebody said, stand up, turn around just like this guy, and count something behind you. What to do? Well, we do the same thing. We put our numbers down. So we go 1, 2, 3. And then remember, the 1 is the left, the 2 is the middle, and the 3 is the right. But sometimes when we have to turn around and go in a different direction, sometimes direction can be confusing. So we have to pay attention at how we put the number down. Remember, this is the dragon's tongue, and dragons can blow fire, right? But they blow the fire away from the other numbers. So all we have to do is check. Is he blowing the fire away from the other numbers? I would say yes, he is. So that's the correct way. Now, if it looked like this, can I show you what it would look like if it was wrong? But it would be easy to fix it. It would look like that. See how his tongue is towards the numbers? Then we know it's in the wrong place. So all you have to do is check to make sure that the dragon's tongue, and he can blow fire away from the other numbers. So now that's correct. So now you have these numbers to check to see if you did it correctly. Okay, so numbers can give you direction. After you've turned around, you can count and check the dragon's tongue to see if it's facing away from the numbers. So that's all you have to do with direction. Just make sure that the dragon's tongue, and he's blowing fire away from the other numbers. And then you can find direction by counting 1, 2, 3. Pretty easy. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to practice. We're going to pretend that we're walking around in this house here, and you're going to put down numbers to count things out. So let's look at this chair here. If you were standing in front of this chair here, let's pretend you're standing here, this is you, and you needed to find direction on this chair. Well, all you would have to do is take your numbers out and count 1, 2, 3. And then I would ask you, what does the 1 mean? And then you would tell me it means the left. And how about the 2, the middle, and 3, the right? And you could even look at it, because you could look at the 1, right? And you can see that has the L in it for left. Then this would be the middle, and then here's the road, and this is right. Okay, let's walk around some more. Okay, so maybe this wall here. Let's number this wall here. Can you do that? There we go. 1, 2, 3. So this is the left, middle, and this is the right. And then what if I told you, can you find the right of this wall? Let's get our letters out. You could use your letters, right? You could get your tree out. You could look for the road, and the road goes this way. So that's right. This is left. This is middle. Pretty easy. And then we could walk into the kitchen here. Let's actually go to this table here. And we could number this table. Say we're standing right here. We could number this table to get direction. Same thing. 1, 2, 3. And then you would tell me this is the left, the middle, and of course this is the right. Now, let me ask you a question. Let's go back up here to these chairs here. Say that we needed to number the chairs, and you wanted to get direction on both chairs. And I gave you these 3 numbers to find direction on these 2 chairs. How would you do that? I'm going to show you. You would use all 3 numbers because there's a 1, there is a middle, even though there's nothing there, and this would be 3. So then that tells you that this one's on the left and this one's on the right, and this is the middle. So you use all 3 numbers. Even though there's not 3 items here, there's still a middle. Does that make sense? Do you see? Okay, now I'm going to ask you another question. What if we had 3 items? What if I needed to number and find direction on this light here, on all 3 of the lights? Pretty easy if you were standing in front of it, right? You just number it, 1, 2, 3. So you would basically use all 3 numbers. 3 items, 3 numbers. Okay, here's another one. What if you have this picture of all these bears here, and your mom says, can you grab the brown bear that's on the left side? Well, I would think there's 2 brown bears. What would I grab? Well, she said the one on the left, so I have to figure out which one's on the left. So I would bring my capital L building, find the point, right? And then move it towards that way. So that's the left. And then that's the one on the left. And then the white one's in the middle. And then the other light brown one is on the right. So you just found direction really quick. What if your mom said, can you turn the page that's on the right on the book? So I heard right, so I would take my capital R, find the road, that's the page I would turn. Or I could think of 3 as being on the right, and then I could look for the road. The road goes that way, so that's right. Pretty easy. So you could use your letters and you can use your numbers to find direction on things. Something I wanted to show you is that our letters and our numbers can be like a compass for us. For instance, if somebody said turn left, then you could get your capital L out or your number 1 if you think in numbers. And let's take our capital L out. But think about it. You wouldn't be able to actually physically take out your capital L and put it in front of you. So this is where your thinking is involved or using your imagination. So for some of us, if we think of a capital L, we may see it. It just might magically appear for us. And then you can find the corner and go left. Or for some, maybe you can imagine yourself writing the letter. Then you find the corner and then you move left. Or for some, maybe this is like a ride, like the roller coaster, and you're on the letter and you make the letter and then you find the corner. For some, maybe you can float the letter in your head to go left. And for some, maybe you still see that visual picture of the capital L building and you put the star in the corner and you go left. So just think, we all think differently. So do it the way you want to think. Now, if somebody said go right, then I'd take my capital R out, make it the way you want to make it, find the road, and follow the road, and that takes you to the right. And then the middle, remember, it's just being squished in the middle. And then if you wanted to use your numbers, say you're a number person, and somebody said go left, you could take out your number 1. Imagine it the way you want to. Find the tongue and follow it. And that takes you to the left. See, even our numbers are like a compass. And if somebody said go right, you may think of the number 3. It's the last number. Follow the road. And for the number 2, that's easy. It's just in the middle. So in a short few minutes you learned about direction. You know, all you have to do is count or use your letters and use a little imagination. So, now that you know, all you have to do is count and use your letters. Now you can go out and find direction on everything else. Just remember, everything has direction. Even you have direction and the person sitting across from you. So make sure you watch our videos on that. So we can't wait to teach you more with directional learning.